So I'd suggest that you watch after I say something what comes out of your mouth. Because whether or not you're intending to give that impression, you certainly are to this court giving that impression. And if you continue to do that, and you've done it 2 or 3 times today, and I let it slide, but if you continue to do that,
One more thing to say. If the vehicle was not running because of the fuel pump, which they gave the original diagnosis, if it's not running after they fix it, then
I'm trying to figure out how in a mile you figured that out.
because it ran because when I brought it in, it was running. I drove it in there. When I brought it in,
No. What I'm trying to figure out is, let's say it was running. Let's say everything is as you say it is. When you leave their facility, how do you know the vehicle isn't running?
when we left the facility, it was running. I drove it.
You drove it away from there.
Drove it away.
Okay, so then how, folks,
But it was also running when
It was performing the same way when we brought it in there originally. It was performing.
It's just that what the problem was that it was stalling out and it.
okay,
stalled on me.
so how do I know in that mile that they had not cured the stalling out?
A fuel pump is supposed to work continuously. It's not only.
Ma'am, I understand a whole lot more about cars than you think I do.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, I understand exactly how that fuel pump works.
Well, I'm
So-
trying to answer your question. I thought it was a question. No,
I asked you a question.
okay. Well, can you repeat the question again?
How do I know that that vehicle wasn't stalling?
Because when we returned the vehicle, for them to look at it again, as the note say, he gave us another diagnosis saying it's the fuel pump. That was because he didn't remember dealing with or fixing that vehicle that prior year or 13 months or whatever it was. This was his diagnosis that, oh, you guys need a fuel pump.
Because you came in there and gave him the same symptoms.
Well, no, we just said the car's not start.
And
That's it, very vague.
And they did their diagnosis, and their diagnosis was that the fuel pump needed to be replaced.
Okay, but why is that their fault?
Because they were supposed to replace the fuel pump the first time.
This is the second time we're talking. They were supposed to.
I'll get back to my other question.
Okay.
They go to O'Reilly's, they pick up a fuel pump, they put the fuel pump on. Right?
Yeah.
Fuel pump doesn't work or doesn't do what it's supposed to do. How do you attribute that to them?
Because we rendered their services to fix the pump in the first.
But you then don't bring it back until 2 years later. There is no workplace anywhere that is going to give you a warranty on a part, particularly a 1999, that I'm talking putting a part on a 10-year-old vehicle that I'm going to warranty that part for over 2 years, because that's what you're asking them to do.
Well, asking them to warranty the part, this place says that the original fuel pump was in that vehicle, that fuel pump was not replaced. That's what he wrote.
Okay, ma'am, I can hear, and I've heard you say that. That's not my point. My point is, if in June 9th, 2020, you're saying they didn't replace the part. Supposedly, it's then not discovered until 2 years later, well, more than 2 years later, that part hasn't been replaced. That's your position. Their position is we replaced the part. They're going to show, I'm presuming at trial, they're going to show a receipt for that part. And they're going to say, we put it on the vehicle. There's other places going to say they didn't put it on the vehicle. Here's my problem. Between June 9th of 2020 and October 3rd of 2022, I have no idea what happened with that vehicle. None. And even you guys don't have any idea, at least for 3 months.
For 3 days. We know it didn't start 3 days later.
3 months. July 2nd, 2022 to October 3rd, 2022. You guys have no idea what happened with that vehicle because it's not in your possession. Go ahead.
We have their diagnosis.
You want to know what? Let's have, okay, when do we want to try this? Because this is going to be too, I'm just telling you.
Okay, well, let's take it to trial, whatever. Let's do what we got to do.
No, don't tell me, okay, let's take it to trial. Do not play with me like that.
Yes, sir.
Good answer. I'm just telling you right now, you've got significant proof problems. Because, can you get that one? Because you've got 2 years. You're saying they didn't put on the part. Who's going to tell me that that's the original one that's put on? This guy's going to say it looks like the original one. Right? He would have given you a part that, quite frankly, I could go to any junkyard. They got a 1990 Jimmy, I could probably get that part. And somehow or another, you're going to say they bought a part, didn't put it on, and now you're trying to hold them accountable 2+ years after the fact. And what I don't know, and I'm just being blunt with you. What I don't know is that whatever they did, that it didn't work. I mean, folks, just hear me out. It's one thing, you take it in there on June 9, 2020, and let's say you get it to somebody July, let's say 1 month after the fact, right? And you get it to some place and they say, this part hasn't been replaced. Here it is. That could be a compelling case that they didn't put it on. But what you're asking now is that and by the way, that it was doing the same thing, right? Right after the repair. Here, you can correct whatever you think is different about the story, is 2 years plus, really 25 months. After they supposedly have the part, I take it back saying it doesn't work. Or that what happened didn't work. I don't even know how you're going to begin to show that to me. I really don't. Yeah.
So if, once we bring it back to their shop and he agreed, okay, we'll take care of it, we'll fix it, no problem. With him agreeing to rectify that issue, all that time later, that has no bearing on
Well, what is he rectifying though?
the faulty part at that point.
Is he really rectifying the faulty part?
That's what he agreed to do.
No.
No?
Because hold on a second. At the time, you don't know that the part is faulty, do you?
No, I do not.
So if you don't know that it's a faulty part, how's he trying to rectify the faulty part?
Maybe because they've already done a diagnosis and they see it's the fuel pump. This was after the diagnosis, the second diagnosis. And he agreed, yeah, we'll take care of it.
Okay. We'll take care of it. So what's that mean? I've got a customer that wants something done. We'll take care of it. Yeah.
I'm curious, he's the mechanic, how long is the fuel pump supposed to last in the vehicle?
Well, man, that's going to depend. I mean, I know enough about fuel pumps. I mean, you can put one in and it's operating just fine, but there are other parts of the system that are relying upon that fuel pump. And so, I mean, you can get a defective fuel pump.
Mhm.
I mean, that can happen. But I can't even say that's what happened in this case.
But the evidence from the other shop, he states that the components, he can clearly see that the components for that fuel pump were not touched. He said, once those straps come off, they're broken. They need to be replaced. These are still.
How do I know that didn't happen?
Because he said so. He's the mechanic.
No, ma'am.
We didn't drive, because listen, if we didn't drive the vehicle, then everything's still gonna be new. Why would it be used if it's not being used?
Ma'am, that's part of the proof problems, isn't it? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Part of the proof problems is this vehicle sat for 2 years.
So the parts are still new.
They may be or may not be. I mean, you're going to have to account for every day that vehicle's sitting.
But
I mean, you can laugh about it or not, but the burden's on you guys. I mean, that's what the problem is. When do you want to try this? Well, let's get this done because you guys aren't listening to what I'm trying to tell you. Counsel, were you intending on giving them an offer of judgment? Your fees are going to be paid if this goes through and get a verdict in excess. I mean, I don't know what your intentions are.
My client and I will discuss that.
Because I just want to give enough time for that to, late July. July 26th.
Yes, sir. 9
Non-jury trial in this matter. Discovery being closed will be set July 26, 2023, 9 a.m. in person.
What time was that?
Set at 9 a.m. in person You gotta have all your witnesses, documents, evidence here. And we'll go for counsel. That'll give you time to do an offer of judgment so that if it does come down to that, your fees will be paid. Yes,
Your Honor, that doesn't give us enough time to seek counsel and to do the things that we're gonna need to do here.
you started this case in February. It is now the end of May. That's 60 days out for trial. Discovery's closed. I don't know why it can't be tried now. You're intending on getting an attorney?
Absolutely.
Well, and I'd suggest that you do that as soon as possible. If they need more time, then certainly the court would entertain a motion to adjourn the trial date. But otherwise, as the posture of this case sits right now,
Okay.
don't interrupt me. We're gonna have a way to, you know what? Tell you something, Mr. Montgomery.
Excuse me, I can't.
No, you'll hear me. I'm gonna tell you right now, I expect people to conduct themselves in certain ways in my courtroom. I don't know, just listen to me. I don't want this other stuff in terms of comments that I'm making. I will show you respect, but the one thing I will not let happen, ever, you can sit up there and you can disrespect me all you want, but I will never let this institution in this courtroom be disrespected. So I'd suggest that you watch after I say something, what comes out of your mouth, because whether or not you're intending to give that impression, you certainly are to this court giving that impression. And if you continue to do that, and you've done it 2 or 3 times today, and I let it slide, but if you continue to do that, you're going to feel the full wrath of this robe come down on you, and I don't want to do that.